days in the 70s and 80s all the way up until today, the most efficient way for a rapper to gain respect is to have bars. People might say that lyrics matter less in hip hop these days than they did back in the 90s, and that may be true, but there's no denying that there aren't still some great lyricists around. In today's video, I'm going to be counting down my picks for top 5 most lyrical rappers of all time. This list is based off how impressed I was by the artist's ability to consistently bring hard bars and punchlines. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more hip hop top 5s. But before we get into this list, we got to get some honourable mentions in. First, we got Biggie Smalls, whose delivery and flow was second to none, but who I feel is slightly outshined by the artists on this list in the lyrics department. We got Kendrick Lamar, who is definitely one of the best lyricists of this generation. And finally, we got Jay-Z, who would be on this list if he brought his A-game to more of his songs instead of going for chart toppers. So with the honourable mentions out of the way, let's waste no time getting into top 5 most lyrical rappers of all time. Number 5, Lil Wayne. Coming in at number 5, we got no doubt the most controversial choice on the list, Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne received possibly the most hate I've ever seen from hip hop fans throughout his career for various reasons. However, I always stayed solid as a Wayne fan. It seems now that he's an OG, he's finally starting to get the respect he deserves as one of the most iconic and talented rappers to ever touch the mic. While a lot of his hate comes from the fact that he makes a lot of commercial, somewhat pop type music, it would be ludicrous to say Wayne isn't one of the most lyrical rappers of all time. From his debut album all the way back in 1999, right up until this day, Wayne consistently raises the bar with his punchlines, most of which probably go over most people's heads. In songs like 6 Foot, 7 Foot and She Will, you literally gotta pause the track between bars to actually understand a lot of the punchlines, because if you take them at face value, they really won't sink in. Not to mention the fact that Wayne literally never writes his songs, he just gets in the booth and freestyles them. Drake stated in an interview that Wayne just listens to the beat for a while and sits on it. After some time, he just hops in the studio and kills the track. So at the number 5 spot, we got Lil Wayne. Number 4, Nas. At the number 4 spot, we got one of the most legendary rappers of all time, Nas. Just this man's debut album alone is enough for him to contend for GOAT status, not to mention the rest of his immaculate discography with some of the greatest bars ever written. Nas isn't quite the same kind of lyrical rapper as Wayne. He doesn't usually come with complex punchlines that take thought to understand, but this man's ability to tell stories through his music and really make you able to picture every minute detail while listening really is second to none. This is especially present in his debut album Illmatic. Illmatic has been noted by music writers for Nas's unique style of delivery and poetic substance. His lyrics contain layered rhythms, multisyllabic rhymes, internal half rhymes and more. Music critic Mark Lamont Hill of Pop Matters elaborates on Nas's lyricism and delivery throughout the album, stating, Nas's complex rhyme patterns, clever wordplay and impressive vocab took the art of rapping to previously unprecedented heights, and it didn't stop there. Nas put his lyrical ability on full display in Ether, considered one of the hardest and most lyrical diss tracks of all time, taking aim at Jay-Z, so it's only right that Nas gets the number 4 spot on the list. Number 3, Big L. Coming in at number 3, we got potentially the most underrated rapper of all time, straight out of Harlem, Big L. Big L really is a one-of-a-kind artist, and every freestyle or verse I ever heard this man spit completely blew my mind. L's punchlines were some of the hardest bars I've ever heard, but a lot of the time they could make you laugh too, something not really seen before in hip-hop. After tragically being shot and killed at the young age of just 24, I feel Big L is the biggest what-if in hip-hop history. He only managed to release one album before his untimely death, and man, what an album it was. Who knows what heights L could have reached had he been given a chance to continue his journey. His debut album, titled Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous, really puts L's talent on full display in literally every single song, and when I say every single song, that's not an exaggeration. I highly urge any hip-hop fan who hasn't heard this album to give it a listen and have your mind blown by this man's lyrical ability on every single track, not to mention the sheer savagery and tenacity in all his bars. And growing up in the 70s and 80s in Harlem, New York, you know he ain't making this stuff up. So at the number 3 spot on the list, we got Big L. Number 2, Big Pun. Coming in at number 2, a man who very few could hang with bar for bar, we got Big Pun, another hip-hop legend who was sadly taken away far too soon, but even after only releasing one album before his death, is well known as one of the most lyrical rappers of all time. Not to mention his impeccable flow, this man would spit entire verses without even taking a breath. Pun's multi-syllabic rhyming was mesmerising to listen to. I haven't heard any artist since do it to the level of Pun. Every song from his debut album Capital Punishment is a lyrical masterpiece. From the hardest tracks like You Ain't a Killer and Beware, to the laid-back Glamour Life and Punish Me, the standard of lyricism remains top tier. I would have given anything to have Pun and Big L go bar for bar on a freestyle. Pun began rapping in the late 80s. He later formed the underground group Full Eclipse with Lyrical Assassin, Joker Jams and Tomb. Pun made a number of recordings with the group in the 90s, which have not been released. At this point, Pun was operating under the name Big Moondog. After changing his stage name to Big Punisher, Pun met fellow Puerto Rican and Bronx rapper Fat Joe in 1995 and made his commercial debut on Fat Joe's second album Jealous One's Envy. In addition to appearing on the song Watch Out, he also appeared on the Beatnuts song Off the Books, so rightfully earning the number 2 spot on the list, we got Big Pun. Number 1, Eminem. Probably not much of a surprise to most hip hop fans, at the number 1 spot, we got Eminem. Eminem has cemented himself as one of, if not the greatest rapper of all time. With a career that has seen him stay relevant in the rap game for over 20 years, which no other rapper in history has ever managed to do, there's no denying Eminem as being the greatest of all time for many hip hop fans, but that's a video for another day. In today's video, we're focusing on this man's out of this world lyricism. From his freestyles to his number 1 hits, from 1999 right up until this day, Eminem consistently makes jaws drop with his flawless lyrics and ever-evolving flow. Even on his latest albums, while most people don't feel they're at the level of his earlier work, are absolutely packed with insane punchlines, storytelling and rhymes that the average listener would never wrap their head around. After dropping out of high school in the 9th grade, with hopes of pursuing a rap career, Eminem would literally sit and read the dictionary for hours on end just to expand his vocabulary. His elite bars have made sure he's won against any other artist he's clashed with, and he has literally ended multiple rappers' careers. I can't think of any rapper in history who could beat Eminem in a rap battle. Big L would be a close contender, but I still think M would body him in the end. So taking the number 1 spot on top 5 most lyrical rappers of all time, we got Eminem. Thanks for watching guys. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more hip hop top 5s. If you feel there were any artists I missed from the honourable mentions or the list, be sure to let me know by leaving a comment down below. As always, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next video.